Today, I'm going to do something a little bold, little out there, you know what I'm saying? Today, I'm going to predict the entire Gwent 2022 roadmap. That's right. This roadmap is going to come out for like 2 to 3 months from the release date of this video. With that said, I think I can guess the entirety of it. That's it. I'm putting down the chips. I'm getting a record of my own ability to predict the future. And that's what I want to do. I want to share my thoughts of where I think Gwent's going. Note, this is not necessarily where I wanted to go on a couple of these things, but all in all, this is where I believe it's going. That's what we're going to focus on. Number 1, talk expansions. Price of Power just came out. Finally, the full block is here. And I think these were all divvied up in the 2-month drop periods. And I think they're going to 3 months. I think they've concluded, a lot of I thinks here. They've concluded that, my guess, that CDPR has figured out that 2 months is too much for every player. There's enough of a backlash, enough of a complaint that say 2 months of content over and over and over is too much for us. Too much instability. I want a balanced patch. I want to feel like the meta is moving in an interesting direction, but I want a lot of it to be driven by balanced patch changes, which are typically a more stable way to change the game than dropping in a new card like Melusine or Mamuna and saying go. Much more chaotic when new cards are coming to the fold. Therefore, I think you'll see them go to 3 months. We're looking at more stability. Patches will remain monthly is my prediction. I think people have really appreciated monthly patches as a way to quickly tone down things they hate. I also think CDPR has spent a lot of time getting used to how heavy they need to be with the nerf hammer, and they've done a really nice job with that. It's gotten better and better and better throughout the year, to the point where I really trust CDPR when it comes to the patches. They're not perfect, but they're really, really good. Also, when it comes to these new card drops, these 3-month expansions, they will now be disconnected from each other. It doesn't necessarily mean that two of the drops won't be in the same place or same time, or even have necessarily mechanics that are linked. So for example, they might do a 6 for Northern Realms, they might drop 6 cards of Patience, and then the next set drop 1 more. But you're going to see overall a much bigger disconnect. Each one's going to feel like a self-contained mechanic. So if I went to Spell Squayatel, for example, you would probably have something like Simless, Francesca, Sorceress, Elven Seer, Whisperer, Orb, and dropping at the same time. That would be one completed set. It might be probably 3 bronze, 3 gold. You get the idea. You can sub in and out as you would like. Maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All of these. You dump them all in to one set. It feels much more complete. Then maybe later on you bring out Orb or Bountiful Harvest and the next one. A nod to the previous set, but nothing as connected, which I think would change a lot. It would actually be a really big deal. Like if we look at relics, they were ahead of their time. The monster cards were nuts, right? Mamuna, insane. Bloody Mistress, insane. Piggy, insane. These cards were way ahead of their time. Even Self-Eater got a nerf. But if we were to dump it all at the same time, I wonder if the nerfs would be less. In the current meta, relics have been really shoved out of it entirely. And it makes me wonder, hey, would everything, I can't talk today, forgive me, a little sleep deprived. If it was all linked, like if it all came out at one time and they were all fighting for the top spot, would it really seem as overpowered? Be interesting. The answer is probably yes, with particularly Bloody Mistress and Cranfier, both in their old forms, but still, I think I do wonder if Munu would potentially be 11 or Self-Eater at 6. Be interesting. We'll never know, but worth a thought. Now, if I'm right here with the 3-month expansions, there is a problem, a content drought. It used to be an expansion every 6 months, and there were 5 months of absolute misery. You might get a little something here or there, but mostly nothing. But I think with the success of 2 particular cards, Madoc, hello there baby, and Sunset Wanderer, these were dropped independently of any set. Madoc was kind of swept into Way of the Witcher, and Sunset Wanderer was just added to the game. Both, in my opinion, were huge successes, and CDPR is going to see that and say, yes, we want more of that. Sunset Wanderer was busted when it came out. It used to be 11 provision. Madoc, when it came out, was somewhat playable-ish, but it really required a lot of the bombs used to be 5 provision, and then stuff like D-bomb went from 5 to 4, which really opened Madoc up. So I don't think they've gotten the balance quite right for the single card drops, but I think they're going to keep doing them. These cards demand you to be creative and interesting with your deck building. As a result, a great way to solve our content drop, which is really going to be the third month. So, right, the first month, you get the new set, tons of cards. Second one, everything's a bit more stable, the bounce patch hits. That third month, I think, will start to drag. Pop a new card in there. Just one new card, stirring things up a little bit, giving us deck brewers something to work with. I think you'll see that more and more frequently. I could be wrong there, because they did do a leader drop of cards at the end of this year. That I thought leader cards would be a very easy way to just drop them throughout the year. But they're not doing that, so we'll see. My prediction is we're going to get at least 4 single card drops, if not more. I would love them to do 6 or 8, personally, but I think 4 is the minimum just to cover that third month of each of these expansions. Expansion to the next expansion timeline. Excellent. Also, ready for the next bet? I think you'll see some non-neutral card drops. I think, can you imagine, like Death Wish, for example? How wonderful it would be to get a good Death Wish card. Because it would cause some deck building to occur in month 3 and bring back an old archetype. And players love old archetypes. Players crave Harmony, Vampires, Death Wish, Pirates. Things that might have been left to the wayside that just need a little bit of love. A single card drop with a bounce patch to support it would be a great time to do it. So I think you'll start seeing CDPR saying, you know what, we could keep doing crazy neutrals. And neutrals are the best way because you can experiment with 6 factions. But if there's an opportunity, when that's a great idea for a card and they can't fit into an expansion, I think you'll see them sneaking in as single card drops. Also a good way to get people to buy more kegs. If Sunset Wanderer caused a lot of keg buying because you could only get it in a keg for like a week-ish. Madoc going in the Way of the Witcher. That made those kegs much more interesting to open again. I think you'll see them wrapped up into previous kegs. All right, and that's I think what I got for the card expansions and content in that regard. But there's more obviously to Gwent than just that. Go ahead and mander on over. It's like salamander on over. Journeys. Let's talk. Journeys. They'll obviously continue. I think they'll either be, I don't. This is where I'm nervous about predicting them because I don't buy enough journeys to really make the judgment call. Right now they're on a 2-month cycle. You know, I'm not gonna make a prediction on the timing, whether you switch it over to 3 months or keep it on 2. But regardless of what you choose to do here, this is gonna be the cornerstone of CDPR's monetization. It wouldn't surprise me if they did it every 3 months and popped it up to 150 as the level. They used, I think, Siri, if memory serves me right, was a longer journey than the rest. It was apparently a bit of a grind. I do not think you're going to see old journeys come back. I know it's widely requested. Everyone's like, I wanted that Siri journey, and it's gone. I think it'll be gone. But here's the hot take. You guys ready for this? I think Geralt, Yennefer, Triss, and Ciri's models will come back and potentially have new journeys. That's my hot take. I think at least one of them will get a new journey this coming year. What CDPR is going to realize is we have these great models that a lot of people want. Ciri, Geralt, Yen, Triss. They'll pay for them, so either they'll end up in base copies in the store. It would not surprise me just straight up they ended up base copies in the store. And we're going to release new cosmetics. That's right, new cosmetics for all of them in their own redone journey. That way, you don't have to actually even bother building a new model, so you save some money there. And you let players have more customization, rewarding the people who previously had it. They can use their old trinkets and stuff to dolly up their character, as well as new ones. And you also let new players get access to the characters they want, because obviously everybody wants the main characters. It's a no-brainer, it's an obvious one, and I think it'll happen next year. I think you'll see all 4 base models in the store, and B, I think you'll see at least one of them get a new journey of new cosmetics, and it's gonna be great. Excellent. And honestly, if I could just give a recommendation for CDPR, stop gating the models themselves, gate the cosmetics. Like, let people buy the base models for almost every character, except maybe like Witchfinder, which doesn't have customization. Let people buy the customizable models and their base copies in the store for like $5, $7, $8, and then when they get the journey for the cosmetics, like that to me makes a lot more sense. You can stop. I feel like CDPR is throwing away a bit of money here. People will pay for the Geralt model, even if you can't dress him up. People want that. People want him in their lives, so let them have Geralt. Let them have Triss, Yen. It's a no-brainer to me. Also, I'm going to make a quick prediction. More music. I think music was a success in this journey. I think you'll see people, and I'm going to make a prediction. Most journeys will have at least 1 to 2 tracks. I don't think you'll see a music-focused journey in the future. It's an easy piece of content for them. CDPR has a ton of music they can add to the game. Might as well just chuck it in for into the journey instead of a key. Makes sense. Makes sense. Let's see. Got that. Final prediction for this video. Draft mode is in early access. I think sometime in 2022 you'll see it leave early access. CDPR knows that they need an alternative to normal ranked Gwent, because if you dislike the meta, you stop playing, and that makes no sense. You do not want the people dependent on loving the current meta, and then if they don't like the meta, stop playing Gwent. You need an alternate mode. Draft is the case, and my prediction is in 2022, not only is it going to leave early access, it's going to become a full-fledged mode, you'll see a ranked mode develop for it. I'm calling it now, 2022, by the end of the year, you'll see a ranked mode for this. There needs to be some reason to play this for a competitive aspect, and that's my answer to it. That's what I think will happen. And that's what we got. Those are my thoughts on what the future roadmap is. We'll see how this ages, maybe really poorly, maybe really well. Can I predict CDPR's future? We're going to find out. I hope you like this. Love all of you, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Shout out to McGrandar, Ahmed Ali, and pseudonym81 for their generous and unbelievable support on Patreon.